Hi, I'm MrByZ, and I just got the latest wave of vintage collection figures, and I wanted to go ahead and review them so you can check them out and decide if they are something you want to buy and search for
So
or
here
not.
they are. All the new figures have arrived. I ordered two of each from Amazon, which I know can be risky because you don't always know how they're going to show up. Honestly, one card was generally far worse than the others. Some of these came up pretty good. My Luke here, you can see it's got a little bend in the card. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I have other cards that are like that. He doesn't want to stand up though. The Tank Commander has a slight crease right there in the middle, but it's okay. For the way I display these, I'm not too worried. I don't need exact mint cards. If I wanted the mint cards, I would have ordered these through Pulse or something. But all in all, I got a decent set of cards for my carded set, so I'm not too worried. You can see R2 here. And, of course, we have all of these figures, and like I said, I got two sets. So let's go ahead and take a look at each figure out of the package. So our first figure is R2-D2, and this is probably the disappointment of the group. This was a disappointment before we ever got it, because you could tell they used the Build-A-Droid mold. And if you look, you can see where the holes were on that. And we just got this exact mold in the Galaxy's Adventure figures, in the Force Link 2.0 stuff. So it's not like, the only thing that's different here is we got a really nice paint job, and I'll give it that. It has a really good paint job. He's very dirty. It might have worked well to have put a restraining bolt on him or something, especially with as dirty as he is, to be more of that Tatooine version. But, it's a little clean in here. Maybe that's, where Luke popped it off and now he's gone in search of Obi-Wan. It is definitely the Build-A-Droid mold. You can pull off the head. You can see the stuff underneath. You can pop the legs off and everything. It's the total Build-A-Droid mold here. It's not that it's a bad mold. It's a good mold. My preference for R2s is the Vintage Collection sail barge R2, the one that came with the drink tray. I thought that was a really good looking R2, honestly. The silver paint on the dome, obviously it's not vac metallized. It is a fairly shiny silver, but it's not. Some of us still would like some vac metallization. I don't push for it too much, but you miss it here and there, especially now I'm seeing Transformers out in the store with the vac metallization. It's like, why is Star Wars not getting this? But probably my least impressed in the figures here that we'll have here today. Our next figure is probably one of the best in the line. That's the Death Star Gunner. This is supposed to be a Rogue One Death Star Gunner. His outfit's more based on that. The vest does look slightly different from what we've gotten in the past. It looks like it is a separate piece. Yeah, it's a separate rubbery piece. It does hide chest articulation underneath. He actually has like a ribbed outfit underneath. It's a lot like Darth Vader there. The helmet looks really good. I've always loved the Death Star Gunner, even from the Power of the Force days. That was one of the few Power of the Force figures I bought in 1985. So anytime I get Death Star Gunners, I get excited because I do like them. I mean, paint job, there's not a lot, it's a lot of black, but it's, mix of matte and glossy and different ways of doing black. Comes with the one blaster. It's a very good figure. This is going to go, I have a little Death Star playset I'm doing for Rogue One. He will go nicely in with that stuff. Next, we have the hover tank, or the Imperial Salt Tank Commander, I should say. Keep calling it a hover tank, yet it definitely doesn't hover. This is just a repaint of the pilot that we got before, this guy right here. It's the same mold from everything I've been able to look at, just new paint markings. This is, if we get my hover tank here, not a hover tank, Imperial Assault Tank, dang it. So I actually have the pilot from the 5POA in there. This is the guy who's supposed to sit up here on top now. So kind of completes your hover tank look and everything. Nothing too exciting. Like I said, it's a repaint, basically, of that pilot that we got before. I can show you again so you can see the differences. You can see the paint differences in there. Apparently the commander's not as dirty. He's a little dirty, but again, this is the commander, this is the pilot. So as you can see, it's just a repaint of that. But, it's going to look cool in the hover tank, so that's nice to get at least. And it's a usable repaint in some ways, not like some of the other repaints that we've gotten. Finally is the crate Luke Skywalker, or Force Projection Luke, however you want to look at it. I got to say right away, this face sculpt, the paint job looks far better than the initial images we saw when it was first announced. When I was first announced, I looked at it, I was like, oof, that does not look good. I was not excited about this. I know some people aren't excited about this anyway because they hate Last Jedi or whatever. But, I'm just going by purely what this figure is. Great detail on the outfit. It's got a lot of, little lines to make it look more like cloth. In fact, this under tunic, I guess you'd call it, kind of reminds me of Dooku in a way. He has this outer robe. It's just that soft, pliable plastic stuff, very articulated inside, so you can have him do his Matrix moves or whatever, against Kylo. Here we can have him, I don't know, something like that, right? Okay, but it's a pretty good figure. It looks far better than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, those initial photos came out when they announced him. I was like, I don't know, that does not look good. Mine does seem to have a little bit of paint missing here on the edge of the beard into the ear. A little bit on that side too, but more so over here. A little odd, but oh well. I'm not going to worry about it too much. And he's got his lightsaber, which he also has the hilt too. You can hang that on his belt, so you can have him greeting Leia or 3PO or whatever you want to do. It's a pretty decent figure. I'm glad we got it. It's a Luke Skywalker figure that we've never had before. How many times can you say that, Granted, in recent years, it's been a little more often, but still. Kind of great to have this. I'm glad we got it. So I'm doing my grading a little differently now. I'm going to start with just individually here. The R2-D2, I give this a D. It's just reusing a mold that we just got for $8-10 just this last year. You can talk about paint apps all you want, and I understand that, but it just seems so cheap. It doesn't come with any accessories, no compartments open. I don't know. It's a good mold, yes, but how are we getting this? We're paying $4 or $5 extra for a card, basically, over the previous one. So yeah, definitely a D on this R2-D2. For the Death Star Gunner, I'm going to give him an A. I love the detail on it. I think it looks great. I think I missed this putting in there. This is not a removable helmet. It's just a head on there. A lot of the previous Death Star Gunners we gotten was just a helmet on like a clone head. So I like the detail on it. The card looks great. It's a slight update to an older figure. I don't mind. Would I like a Death Star Gunner that has the picture matching the old Power of the Force picture? Yeah. And I'm betting we'll get that at some point, but this is a good update for a Rogue One figure as well, so I'll give this an A. For the Imperial Assault Tank Commander, this is a hard one to grade. On the one hand, it's completing something that we've probably wanted for our assault tanks, and giving that the right details to the figure that pops out the top. At the same time, it's just a repaint on the Trooper, but it is a Trooper. We all like the Troop Builder, most of us, I'm assuming. So I'm going to go with a B- on this, whereas it's a solid execution of figure. It's just a repaint of a figure we already had. And there's so many new figures that we could get, especially from the newer movies, that I'd like to see. That I don't know. And this isn't... Yeah, I know, it's a newer movie figure. I don't know, if it was not as limited release of figures as it was, say, around Revenge of the Sith, this would be a welcome addition. Oh, sure, give me all the different Imperials and that sort of thing. But when we have limited figures, it seems, I don't know, was this really needed? Some would say yes. I'm like, whatever. I was okay putting the other one in there. But so that's why it's a B-. For the crate Luke, who just fell over, okay. Yeah, it's a solid rendition of the figure. It's a brand new figure, totally new sculpt, which is so good to see. The paint app is missing a little bit, like I said, shown on the beard. I didn't look at the carded version if it has. Yeah, seems to be missing a little bit of the paint there on the carded, so maybe they're all like that. It definitely looks far better than I thought it was going to from those images, like I said. I would say overall I'd give him a B+. The face could have been a little bit better still, but it's still better than I thought it was going to be, and it's a good rendition of the figure. So yeah, I'd go with a B+ on Loot Crate.
So that is a look at the new vintage collection figures. Again, only 4 figures. Seems to be the way that Hasbro's going on these things, so what to expect in the future, I guess. Yeah, it's a decent wave. Like I said, I still not a fan of the R2-D2. The Loot Crate's pretty good. The other we have a repaint and a great Rogue One Death Star gunner. I really enjoy these. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you decide, are these figures I should pick up or not. I got a bunch of shows coming up. I've got the newest wave of Black Series. Most of those have arrived, and what hasn't arrived will be here on Wednesday. So I'm going to get all that stuff reviewed and out. I'm working on a Force Unleashed look at all the different toys done for Force Unleashed. The Hasbro figures, anyway. And a couple other things. My collection is probably about 90-95% done now. It'll be done by the end of the month, which is really cool. And so I'll be able to showcase that and let people take a look at that. If you enjoyed this and you want to check out my other shows, I know it's been a little while since I put one out, but there's a bunch here coming here in July. Go ahead and subscribe so you can be all caught up and know exactly what's there. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I like to hear from you. Until next time, enjoy your collecting.